Okay, welcome back, guys. It's going to be a one-take wonder today. We're in a bit of a rush.
Yep.
I've lost half my notes. It's a bit like the Lions game today. Fell apart at the end.
Yeah.
But we'll get cracking. I found it interesting, but Al, you're back in. What did you think?
I thought the first 50 minutes were great. I think we were unlucky to go in at half-time down.
Maybe, yeah.
It was a bit of a borderline call for the try before half-time.
Yeah, I agree that we knocked it back, but I thought they had a hand on it as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I could have gone either way, I think.
Yeah, I'm not complaining too much.
The second half performance, I thought really let the Lions down. I thought they were pretty poor.
Yeah.
I think when the likes of Dan Biggar went off, who had a superb first half.
Yeah, no, he started well.
Johnny Sexton is in a whole world of trouble at the moment. He's looking like a shell of the player.
Yeah, I mean, he was better than the last game.
Yeah, he was.
You couldn't be much worse.
No, and I think the Lions,
it wasn't that good.
They got worse when he came on,
yeah.
I think, and they lost that direction. They lost that go forward. They lost the momentum.
Yeah, I think they're clearly saving Farrell for that Crusaders game.
Which I think is the right call. And I think Farrell at the moment is the option at 10 with Dan Biggar on the bench. I think
almost by default, without having to do too much.
I think Sexton's playing his way out of selection at the moment. He's struggling.
Comment below what's going on with Sexton.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because it was such a contrast in styles. Yeah. The Lions were much stronger in the set piece, in the tights, in the scrum. I would say line out, but that fell apart at the end. All that last line out to drive over and score, no one even lifted.
No.
Oh, they'll be livid.
Yeah.
But they're a scratch team and those things do happen.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, you've still got the good line-out technicians on the park. So you've still had a Toje, you've still had Omani on the pitch, and they should have at least got someone up.
I mean, 5 metres from the line, just go simple, just something simple. Front or middle, straight up, that'll do.
Yeah, no,
drive it over, leave a hard conversion for half a penny, but.
I mean, positives out of that game, Reece Webb I thought was superb.
Yes.
He is the first choice scrum half without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, we'll whack up below again our scores with the risers and the fallers, but Reece Webb started with a real high tempo and kept it going pretty well.
Yeah, and I think the first 15-20 minutes for the Lions were outstanding. I think we played with high tempo, the quality of the passing was good.
Yeah.
It helped when it was dry. I think we fell apart a little bit when it got a bit wetter.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Our tempo was really good, as was the Blues, but the Blues could unlock the defence better. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because Gatland picked a boring team. And in our selection, this was my gripe, and people were saying it'll be okay, they're good players, but, you know, we've got Henshaw, Payne, Noel, Halfpenny. I mean, who's going to unlock a defence there, really? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Jack Nolan is exceptional with go-forward ball, with somebody like George Ford who puts those awkward passes through gaps. Well, when you've got someone like Dan Biggar who does sit a little bit deeper as a fly half.
And Sexton was deep as well. No one played on the gain line.
No, it kind of takes Noel and Daly coming off their wings out of the game, I think.
I mean, I think they used Noel the right way a lot of the time, because they bring him close to the ruck, nipping in and out, that's great. But we've seen out wide, unfortunately, he's a liability, absolute liability.
He's just not got the pace. For someone that he's powerful, he's normally very good in defence. But
he's
today
committed, he's a good player, we like him, he's committed, but he is slow for a winger.
Yeah, he is.
And he does fall off tackles sometimes. Yeah. And he got found out badly, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we haven't seen George North yet.
And we haven't seen George North, no.
So that's an interesting call. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what he brings on Saturday, because I'd assume that he probably will start on Saturday.
That's it, yeah.
Liam Williams, I thought, was poor.
Well, what was he doing? I mean, he's a class player and he's great in the air.
Yeah.
Why on earth go and compete? But he held on to him twice in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous.
Brain dead.
Absolutely ridiculous. So,
I think someone that had an average game, Lee Halfpenny, did his job, was good under the high ball, tackled anything that came down his channel. Yeah. And kicked his goals. So I think he had an okay game, but a very Warren Gatland, steady, stable.
Here's my big statement then, Alex. It's not Warren ball.
No.
Okay, they're trying to play wide, they're trying to go coast to coast, etc. Fine. However, they're quite good at playing in tight. Yeah. At the beginning of the game, big forwards round the corner, left and right, in close, they were making hard yards. Okay? But when they spread it wide, they just don't have the players to unlock the defence, because that's the squad Gatland picked, and that was my gripe to start with.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And at the end of the game, actually the Lions were playing more expansive wide to wide and not hitting in close. Yeah. And if you watch that last 20 minutes, the Blues just spread out. they didn't even bother contesting too much, just spread out and covered the pitch, and they know who's going to break them down. Like Daly was a bit jinky, not bad.
Yeah.
Tipperick, I thought, was the pick of the forwards again.
Yeah,
class act, I think.
He was great.
But apart from that, Haskell's a basher, Lords is a basher, Cole's steady, McGrath's steady, Standard's a basher, Bigger's a bit slow, Henshaw's steady, Payne's slow and steady. What did he think was going to happen? So they could have won, but we've been schooled on how to play proper rugby.
I think the Blues marshalled the big players. I think they marshalled CJ Stander really well all game. They know he's a big runner.
CJ played quite well, but
he was ineffective because people know what his game plan is. They know he's going to take it up. They know he'll make yards.
Yeah, he did all right. You're absolutely right. The Blues played really well, actually. To start with, I thought the greasy ball would undo them because they dropped the ball a few times. They tried to run from their own line a few times. But they just showed again how New Zealand know how to play rugby, and we're still miles behind. Although, if only Gatland had picked Ringrose, Ford, Russell, we could list them. But he didn't. So that is definitely a criticism of Gatland. He's not playing Warren Ball, but he hasn't picked the players to play. Not Warren Ball.
And I think, and you look at the issues that we're having with Johnny Sexton at the moment, and you need that Finn Russell in there. Because
if you're going to play like this,
you want to chuck the ball around, fine. Then you pick players that are going to play with that freedom and throw the ball around,
put people through holes.
Which Ford and Finn Russell are superb at that.
Maybe Farrell can do that. He's learnt to get better at that. He's not a natural, but he's the only one looking like he might do that.
Yeah, and he does it for Saracens. I mean, Saracens are very good with go-forward ball, so hopefully he can translate some of that form into the Lions next game.
Definitely. I thought Sinclair came on and had an impact again. He was literally the only guy on the bench who I thought was a proper impact player.
Yeah.
I thought the whole squad was pretty dull, to be honest.
The bench was weak, I think, today. And they said as much watching the coverage today. I mean, Sky Sports was saying Will Greenwood exactly the same as what we're saying, really. The bench was very ineffective. It
wasn't picked. It was picked to give everyone a game.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get that. But I'm not saying these are bad players. And you see the scores, they're not bad scores. 5's an average performance. But average isn't good enough in New Zealand.
Not this level.
No.
Not at this level.
So Blues deserve to win.
Yep.
I think the test team is actually getting a little bit clearer.
I agree with you.
Anybody you think is definitely pushing in, or
for me, Farrell's definitely in that starting 10 jersey. I mean, he's
by default,
he was great in the first game. Sexton's played his way out of that 10 jersey, and I think that was the big battle at the start of the tour.
Shane Bigger didn't stay on the pitch for longer.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Conor Murray pulls up on Saturday. So I'm assuming again he'll start on Saturday.
Yeah, he'll start.
But for me at the moment, Reece Webb has got his name almost penned in.
He played with pace. He broke quickly. He was positive. I thought he was great.
Faletau's in at 8 for me.
Yeah, he's in.
Warburton's in at 7.
Probably.
Front row's an interesting one because I thought Ken Owens had a good game.
I thought he had a good game. He's only a 6 there, Al, because at the end those line-outs. I thought as a captain, I thought he was good. Around the park, I thought he was good. Most of his line-outs were okay. He's probably a little bit higher, but those line-outs at the end dropped him down.
Yeah, I think Joe Marler or Carl Sinclair are fighting for that first starting test jersey, especially Sinclair. I think he's been immense. He was the stand-up player in the first game.
Well, I think Sinclair, Furlong and Vunipola are by far the standout props for me.
No, I agree.
So I do think it's starting to show that there's some special players on the Lions tour, but as we had suspected, some standard average players, good players, but standard average.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting if they're going to blood the first test team in one of these competitive games before that first test, so that they get playing with the combinations and whether there's not enough time to do that, but it would be nice to see all those combinations on the park, get a game together, one of these warm-up games. Doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose. Obviously the win will gain momentum, but I think it's a big confidence boost.
Also, again, just a big shout out to the New Zealand viewers. We've had so many subscribers and great comments from New Zealand. A4 pages of analysis on the game and what's going to happen. It's superb. So tell us what you thought about the Blues. We thought they were excellent in the loose, out wide.
Sonny Bill Williams immense.
Sonny Bill.
He was great. Great.
This is the interesting thing, Al. We over in the UK see Sonny Bill as a big star.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, all the feedback I'm getting is they think he's a bit of a big shot maybe, he annoys them a little bit, but he was great. Yeah. Defensively awesome.
Yeah, turnovers,
counter-rucking, tackling, offloads, pace.
Yeah. Well, he really, for me, he led the defence of the Blues today. He was superb. I think he's another one that's penciled in for that 12 jersey.
Like him or loathe him, he's played himself into the All Blacks team.
Yeah,
Defo.
If he plays like that, we've got something to worry about.
Oh, massively. But I do think against the Crusaders, they're going to be the best team we've played, but we will start to see the best Lions team.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot stronger starting 15 against the Crusaders. Who's going to win?
Close.
Crusaders.
I think the Crusaders will
Crusaders are favourites, I think.
Yeah, I think they'll nick it at the end. But if we keep it close, if we keep it tight, I think anything's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a proper tour, guys, okay? New Zealand is the place to tour, proper rugby. Another like test match quality almost.
Yeah, a few injuries from today as well, so it'll be interesting to see if anybody pulls up.
So keep subscribing, comment below. Things are moving on apace.
Yeah, keep them rolling.
Might have a video tomorrow. Definitely have one after the weekend on the Crusaders game. Until next time,
see you later.
Enjoy your rugby.